Alrighty, everybody. Um, I'm going to be checking OBS a lot here because it's been screwing up lately. Um, I think I'm recording too much. I got 14 channels I told you guys, and I think I'm recording too many videos, and it's I don't know. It's had issues the past few days, but anyway, hopefully it's getting everything I need it to get. Um, so far it's looking good. So let's get on with this. Well, I had a new member join the Discord today, and he brought up some interesting stuff. He's you can see up here, Laster. You know, he's a college science major. Um, didn't say what school he's attending, but that doesn't matter, I guess. But anyway, he's just wanting some recommendations on. You know, he's going to take his CompTIA Security Plus exam and wants to know where to go. Well, you know, I can't really say. It depends on what you want to do. Um, you know, because like I told you, you know, you could go pen testing, SOC analyst, incident response, forensics, GRC, or GRC, and what's your goal? Where you're headed? Because you don't need to take everything, but if you're going to be a computer forensic person, then yeah, you're going to need to take the specific certain subjects to do, and the same with penetration and SOC and everything else. So you got to decide what do you want to do. Now, I told him, you know, getting into computer science, you should have already had a goal. Before you even enrolled in computer science, you should have. Why are you taking it? I mean, are you taking it just because you want to learn computers, or, you should have had a goal already on what you want to do before you even signed up and took it. And that's the same with anything. You know, you want to get in computers, you want to repair computers, you want to get into security, you want to get into homemaking because you want to cook. You know what? Before you start your college journey, you need to know what the end goal is already. Because why are you taking classes for then to begin with, if you don't know where you're going? But anyway, that's not the problem here. The problem is beginners in cybersecurity. I say it almost every video. This is a very tough industry, and no shame here. I told you guys I had no problem self-learning. For one, I have I've had my IQ tested, and I have an IQ of 132. So problem solving, critical thinking, and everything, I'm very good at all on my own. Now, not everybody is like that, and people of all walks in life can get into cybersecurity, but it's going to take some people longer to do it. And I'm going to show you an example right now because I like learning new things myself, and I want to know what beginners are doing. And he brought up something I had never heard of, this PWNABLE.KR. And that's because there's so many. It's another CTF, war game type thing. And I've never heard of it, but like I said, there's just too many of them. You can search for a CTF. You can play CTFs until you die. I mean, they're all over the place. Some good, some bad, whatever. But anyway, that's where we're going right now. And that's all I wanted to lay out in this right here. So I'm just going to close this tab for now. We don't need to chat no more, I don't think. And the system's running slow because I got all my shit open and Kali and everything. But anyway, this is where we're at now. This is the website. And you gotta sign up and I'm logged in. When you come here, man, the computer's going slow. But I've got a lot of shit open. Look at all the tabs that I got open. I mean, but anyway, this is where you'll show up if you come here with no, you got to click on the login up there in the top right, and that'll, you got to sign in. It's got some YouTube videos for it. Man, I hope this is recording because this computer is running slow. I should have got rid of all my tabs and cut everything down got some of my RAM back before I started this. But anyway, this is where we're starting. You click on the first one. It says, "Mommy, what is a file descriptor in Linux? To play the war game yourself, okay, yourself is separated, so we don't have a native English speaker here typing this. But if you are an absolute beginner, follow this tutorial." So this one here gives you a YouTube tutorial. It gives you your SSH login and password, port 2222. That one, you guys could probably figure it out. And I knew it when I seen this down here, FD. I already knew what that was. Collision. I already knew what this was. Actually, I know what most of these are just by the names. They get mem copy. Um, but anyway, um, you you guys aren't this experienced yet, and that's why you're playing these things. But I click on this. Daddy told me about cool MD5 hash collisions today. I want to do something like that too. You get same thing. You get this is going to be probably your standard login, so that's not hard to figure out. But MD5 collisions. Some of you might know what these are. Some of you might not know what these are. You're going to hit the internet. I'm going to go ahead and close this for now to get some memory back. But anyway, let's see if we can get over into Kali. Let me check OBS and make sure it's following me. And no, it's not. And why isn't it? Why is it not? Okay. There we are. Apparently, I got to manually change the windows in OBS. It doesn't change automatically now for some reason. But anyway, now we're hopefully on my Kali machine, and hopefully I won't have to go back to the browser. But anyway, this is the problem. I put myself in a beginner's mentality, and I don't want to make this longer than it needs to be. If I scroll up here, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I would go through. Just learning how to do this. I searched on, right here. There's two programs that come up to do this: Fast Call and then another one. But I just chose Fast Call, and I did the Google searching and found out where it was and everything like that and what everything that a normal the path it's not what I would have done. I would have used Google Dorks and I would have searched it a whole lot different and probably even found a different build for it because this is not the best build for it. Hopefully hopefully someone's got a forked it and there's a better fork out there that's more set up for beginners because this is not set up for beginners, and this is why I'm glad I went through it. But I got the beginner mentality, and even though I'm doing this as a beginner, when I do have to actually do something, I can get through that quicker because I understand error messages, I understand what the problem is, and I can fix it and then move on instead of literally not being able to move on like a beginner would be stuck for a day or two because they can't go no further and they're trying to search YouTube to figure out how to go further. And then you're going to learn that in a minute. But anyway, I downloaded it. Now, see what it started out is I was in my home directory, and it downloaded. I didn't know. Reason I went through this is I didn't know how much of this I wanted to record, but this ended up being so long, and it's done now, but it wouldn't be done if I was an actual beginner. This would have probably took 2 days for a beginner. And I'm talking about absolute beginner, someone, absolutely just starting out. Um, probably wouldn't know Linux that well, except the basic commands, which is wrong. I know you guys want to go fast, but you really need to take a full in-depth Linux course and learn it, memorize it, master it before moving on. 99% of you won't do that. And so this is the problems that you get stuck in. But I downloaded it in my home directory, and that wasn't a good idea for a lot of reasons I don't need to get into right now, because you want it in your root directory. And this is a default install of Kali Linux, so it didn't come with the /op directory. So I had to make the directory, make an op directory, and my home directory doesn't have an op directory either. I haven't made that yet, but I will. And that's only for personal programs, that you don't need global, like if I want to install Sublime Text or, a game or something like that, I can do stuff like that in my home directory. But tools and stuff you want in your root directory. And so I downloaded it, made the directory. I had to move it, because you would run your wget and it would put it in your op directory, but you need it in your. See, if you were running apt-get install, if this came with an install, the app program would do all this for you. But when you're doing it manually, it's a whole other story. And a lot of custom open source code that you guys get is going to be like this. It's going to be manual install. The person that developed it and put it together, he's going to assume that you're at least intermediate and you know your way around Linux. You know how to build C++ programs and use the make program and all of that stuff, as this guy did. He assumed a lot. He did not put this up expecting a beginner to get it. But we go through it. Now, any of you notice anything? I unzipped it, and here's the unzip. You can see my list right here. But you can also see it right here as it inflated. Anybody notice anything by looking at it? Well, one thing I knew already, but I wanted to go through the motions, and do the Google searching and see where that would lead me. Um, it led me down some rabbit holes and everything, but I'll let you guys need to learn that on your own. I wasn't going to record that. But anyway, you can see that there's no make file. All of this is C++ and C headers, and that's it. It's the raw code. So how are you going to run make on it with no make file? Do you know how to compile this manually? If you're on a Windows machine and using Visual C++, or on a Mac and you're using Xcode, do you know how to load this whole program up and run it and compile it manually? Xcode is not in Kali Linux. So are you gonna try to attempt to install Xcode if you're on a Mac? All these things you gotta look for. But like I said, all this can be done in Linux. You don't need Xcode. You don't need Visual C++ or anything. But anyway, there is that to get over. And what do we do next? Oh, check your make version. I already had make installed. See, if you didn't have make, you would have to install that too. And you would probably run into problems getting that installed and getting it running. But I'm running it. It's up to version 4.3. And so here I run make. And it tells me an error, a fatal error. The include boost file system operation header. So this requires the boost file system. Obviously, it's not installed on this, and this is a Apple M1 Mac. So I need the ARC64 architecture for it. So, I ran app update, I ran app install, and then I loaded the lib boost all dev library right there. And that all ran a lot. installed, unpacked, set up, parsing, all the normal stuff. You can see it's a very large program. I think it's 75 megabytes. We're still going. We're still unpacking, preparing. Da 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 da. Oh, we're getting someplace now. Oh, we're setting up. There we are. Now, let me see. What did I do here? Started. Okay, I ran make again. Nothing to be done for all. So you're like, what the hell does that mean? Should I tell you guys or should I let you find out on your own? Uh, decisions. Because I assumed that I didn't know what that meant. And so now I'm, you can see I'm running, fast call version, fast call help. Nothing's running, command not found. So I'm like, well, what? Okay, fast call isn't running. Like a beginner, I'm like, well, okay, what the hell is fast call then? So I run file on it. GCC precompiled header version for C++. Then I tried running it, permission denied, fast call. So you're like, why are all these there? Why did I get this? And so you had to search, you had to hit Google again and find out that. Then if you don't know about permissions, right here, you can cheat. I show you right there. You might didn't know it at the time, but once I show you this change mod, you're like, oh yeah, I've seen that around. And so I change modded it. Then you can run it. Then it says error, format error, fast call. Then I ran. Then you don't know what this is. You're like, what do you mean format error? What kind of a format, and everything. But I already knew to run uname -m, and it told me that it is compiled for the correct architecture. And that's where I stopped. I figured I'd make the video right here. What this fast call program, this is a program that does M5 hash collisions. And what a hash collision is two separate files that have the same hash. Now, this program or other programs like it, they're going to make two files. You can have it make two files, and you can have your second file carry malware or malicious code or whatever you want in it and everything. But you run it through both files through the program, the fast call program, and it will make sure that both files have the same hash. And what that does is you get into your target system or whatever you want to do, and you send it their plain file first because it's going to check the hash on that, and it's going to say, okay, there's nothing malicious here. We'll accept this as input and run it, you know. But now it has your hash, and now the next thing you want to do is you run. Well, it depends on we're not getting into networking and sub networking here. I might do that in the next video because I do have another video coming after this. But you run your second program, which has the exact same hash, but it's a different file. It has malicious code. But the operating, if they didn't put security mechanisms in for this, the operating system is going to check the hash on your second file, and it's going to, hey, wait a minute, this matches. We've already ran this once, so let it go by. We already know what it is, and that's the flaw in MD5 hash collision, and that's how you run exploit code. One of the many ways that you run exploit code on a target. You might not find this too often because every security, every SOC, everybody out there knows that MD5 is not really a secure hash, to use for any kind of, serious input or security checking or anything. But there's still companies and everything that do it. Small companies and companies that can't afford, a security team or a SOC or anything like that. They might have one guy that, checks the security once in a while or anything, and he might not be all that knowledgeable or anything, but he's the only one they got doing it, and they can't really afford anyone else. So those are the situations that script kiddies and beginner hackers and stuff are looking for. But yeah, just a quick, you know, problem video here telling you guys what, this is the stuff you're going to run into. And it was that uh PWNABLE.XR, that the new member brought up that brought me to this, because once I see that my users, my beginner people on Discord, are using a new CTF or something new that I haven't went through or anything, even a new course, um, I'll take the course and everything because I want to see what they're teaching. I want to see, are they teaching bullshit? Are they actually teaching something that a beginner could use? Um, or maybe they're teaching something and it's good, but it's not really for a beginner. This is more of an intermediate or intermediate advanced course than it is a beginner. Now, and then, I know that now. So now, once I go through it and I know it, I make a note of it, and I have a channel on my Discord server for those that are level 5 or above, where I put all these courses that I've taken, and I give you my opinion on them. If they're for beginners or if they're not, the problems you're going to face in taking them, and all that stuff. But um, yeah, for those of you that want to give this particular CTF a try, now you know a little bit about what the first one is and what this one's going to. This one's going to be MD5 hash collisions, and I showed you a little bit of what you're going to have to go through to do this, and depending on your system, you might be able to compile this, and your make might run fine. But one of the problems is I'm on a Mac. I'm on an M1 Mac, and they're fairly new, so the architecture is new and everything, and so a lot of old tools and stuff aren't set up for specifically an M1 Mac. But like I said, I'm experienced. I know C++, I know programming, I know all this stuff, and that's why I don't mind doing this on a Mac, because any problems that I run into, I can fix or straighten out. Or if I can't straighten it out, I can, whatever it is I need to do, I'll just program it myself and do it in Xcode, and port it over to Kali. But again, this stuff comes with experience, guys. I've been doing this quite a long time, so it's not an issue for me per se. But yeah, if you are a beginner, I would not suggest using a Mac, especially an M1 Mac, with the new architectures and stuff, because you might run into a little bit of problems that's going to tie you up for weeks, and trying to just install a program or something. So yeah, it's going to be a long road. But anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to end this one short here. You guys get the gist. I just wanted to show you the CTF and some of the problems that you might run into. Simply just installing a program that you need to play in a CTF, and the day or two problem that you're going to have installing the program, because it might not be all set up. This one wasn't set up with a make file. It's you didn't know that it needed boost until you ran it. Then now you got to install boost, and maybe you run into a problem installing boost on your system, or you don't. Who knows? Every time you install a new program in Kali, you can run into issues. You cannot. It's a hit and miss thing, and this is why security people are always, always, always problem solving, because this industry is nothing but problems. When you're trying to hack into a computer or break into a computer, reverse engineer malware, or whatever you're trying to do, you're literally just solving one problem after the other until you achieve your goal. That's all it is. It's a big problem list that you got to go through before you get to your end goal, and you go, hooray, we did it. And then you move on to the next huge bundle of problems to do your next exercise or episode or whatever. With that, guys, enjoy it. I do have another video coming. Don't know when yet, but I already know what it is. I already have it lined up and everything. And we will see you in that video.